Welcome to Down South Football Podcast, man. This your man Renard Williams back with you, man. We're here with a special preview, man, of Auburn versus Penn State. It's gonna be Saturday afternoon, 2:30 p.m. Of course, Penn State right now is a 3-point favorite. We got our man in the building, Mr. David Gardner. We got our boy Chauncey Tuck. Hey, but we got two special guests. One representing the Penn State Nittany Lions from far up north, coming down south. Mr. Alec Whittaker from at PSU_strong on Twitter. And we got our boy, man, friend of the show, man. Hey, his whole thing that changed in the last time we seen him. Mr. Phillip Dukes, Duke the Scoop, 247, AuburnUndercover.com, Mr. Everything, Mr. Insider. Fellas, it's so good to have y'all, man. How's everybody doing today?
Good. Thank you for having me.
Good.
And what the old folks say, fairly medley.
You already know, man. We want to just come at y'all, man. Give y'all both sides of it before the game tomorrow at 2:30, man. I'll start off with the first question, man. My first question is for Duke, man. Duke the Scoop. Tell us, bro. What will Auburn have to do on offense? What is the offense going to look like against Penn State defense? Like what are you looking for so far for the offensive performance tomorrow for them to pull it out? Like what do they need to do?
They gotta have production from the quarterback position, and it has to be vertical. Like so, basically, the short intermediate routes, so they're okay, but right now they're gonna have to be able to stretch Penn State out so they can't load the box. I think that's the most important thing right now. Right now, Auburn has kind of been one-dimensional, and I think going forward, teams are going to key in on that and make TJ Finley or Ashford or whoever the quarterback is. Right now, TJ Finley, they are going to make TJ Finley beat you. I think that Penn State has the secondary to man up with Auburn's receivers, so I think they're going to have to win those one-on-one matchups. And if the quarterback receiver battery for Auburn can be successful, I think they can win the game.
Oh, Mr. Joey Porter Jr. in that Penn State secondary back there looking strong with old Manny Diaz back there as a coordinator again. Talking about a name blast from the past. Alec, man, same question for you, man. What does Penn State offense against Auburn defense need to do to be successful?
Yeah, well, I think the easy question or the easy answer would be exactly what they did last year. But I don't know if that works as well on the road, and with what I would say is probably an improved Auburn front seven. So I think they at least need to be competitive running the ball. That was something they struggled with all of last year and in the Auburn game. Not 6-7 yards a carry, but if it's just 4.5 to 5. Try to stay, ahead of the chains, stay on task. I think that's the best way they can go about it. I think the receivers will get open eventually. They have 3 really good ones that they trust all 3 of them. So I think the main thing it kind of comes down to the offensive line, I guess, because you want to at least be competitive in the run game and protect Clifford. Because if Clifford has time like he did last year against Auburn, 28 of 32, 280, 2 touchdowns. That's the way they'll win. So it really does come down to just the offensive line being able to handle that front seven.
Gotcha. Go ahead, Dave. You got something? I know you got a couple questions for him.
Well, I mean, first of all, Alec, I just want to let you know, man, we appreciate you coming on the show. Now, if you hear some country references that you don't know nothing about, don't worry about it.
All right.
Just raise your hand. Just raise your hand.
Raise your hand. We'll explain to you after the show. Hey, man, but honestly, man, I guess the thing is, what's the plan, Alec, for you? What do you, in your perspective, what do you think the plan is to slow down Tank Bigsby? I mean, because he's a dog up front. I mean, he's a dog running the ball, catching the ball, whatever it is. To me, we had a conversation last night. We believe that Tank could be the best athlete on the field. You know what I mean? So he's the focal point. So do you feel like that's going to be something they're going to try to take away, or are they going to try to take away the run, let Finley pass, or hey, Tank, you do your thing, but Finley, you're not going to beat us. So what do you think?
Yeah, kind of like last year, Tank and Jarquez Hunter did do their thing, and Auburn still only got to 20, which was, I think, Penn State's defense was very happy to hold them to 20. I think they're going to stack the boxers because they trust, obviously you guys talked about Joey Porter Jr. already. They trust Joey Porter Jr. and Kalen King, the other corner, I think one-on-one with Auburn's receivers. I don't think you can totally take these Auburn running backs out of the game. I think that's impossible. Penn State's defensive line is still a work in progress. There's a lot of transfer. They brought in a couple transfers, most notably Chop Robinson, the defensive end. And they got a couple true freshmen playing meaningful snaps in Zane Durant and Deni Dennis Sutton. But then you have 3 guys who were supposed to start last year. 2 of them are coming back from season-ending injuries, and another one was suspended or something along those lines last year. So there's a lot of rust with this defensive line. And I it's just hard for me to say that, they'll come in and hold Tank and Hunter to 2.5, 3 yards a carry. Like, that's just not going to happen. I think the goal needs to be to just stop the big runs, make it where it's still 3rd and 5, 3rd and 4, and make Finley try to beat you on those plays. I think that's the best way they're going to go about it. It just has to be whenever Finley does go to pass, it has to be a sack, an incompletion, or try to get a turnover. I think they just need to make the most out of the opportunities they get when the ball's in Finley's hands or any other quarterback on Auburn, because I just think that these running backs are too talented to totally take out of a game.
Right. Hey, Duke, to you, man. Do you see TJ being able to manage the game tomorrow? I mean, we got the back, so he's going to be able to lean on them a little bit. But is he going to be able to hit these open throws? He's kind of up and down. You know what I mean? TJ. So great. I think he's a good quarterback, but he's just consistency right now is just not there. But that's something I think that he has to have. So in your perspective, do you think he's going to be able to, make the throws that he needs to make tomorrow?
I think Finley's success tomorrow will depend on the scheme. If you can scheme guys open more so than him having to throw guys open, then I think that he'll be a lot more successful than depending on him to lead a receiver, than him having to make a read or on the run, for him having to get mobile or get out of the pocket and make something happen. I think it's going to be one of those things that where Auburn's scheme is going to have to be a little better than Penn State's in order for Finley to be successful tomorrow.
Okay. Oh, you talk. Go ahead.
All right, Zach, appreciate you coming through. But real quick, dude, what kind of hat you got on right now?
Oh, that's that Like a Lion's artwork.
Mm-hmm.
One of my buddies, all of their gear is hand painted. They're they're from College Park. So they made a lot of runs. Went on tour with Outkast when they did the 20-year whatever.
Right. Yeah.
So,
okay.
Yeah, all hand painted pieces.
Nice. I thought it was a Patriots hat from my event. I was gonna say
that's Okay.
I see that. Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, I see it. I was like, you know what? Is that a Patriots hat? We can't talk to you no more. Anyway,
I'm from Atlanta, boy. You can't even say Patriot down here.
Right.
So, must have talked about the secondary for Auburn right quick. How did they slow down these receivers? They're really talented. Penn State has a really talented receiving core. Do you think our secondary can? Do you think Auburn's secondary can slow them down a little bit?
I think it's going to be important that the short, the intermediate routes, Auburn has to they have to contest early. Mm-hmm. So there's going to have to be some press man being played, because between Pritchard and Simpson, you've got 2 of the faster cornerbacks in the country. So I'm not really as much worried about the long speed as I am the agility and some of the hip movement that you will see in the short game. So I think Clifford feeds off of the play action, as well as being able to say, you know what, I'm going to catch a guy looking in the backfield. You may be faster, but if I catch you looking in the backfield with some of this eye candy that we may run, if I go to the perimeter a couple of times and I catch you looking at you, and like they say, if you look, you cook. So I think if Auburn can be disciplined up front as far as on those short to intermediate routes, they can be successful. But if they start to get beat on those and start to cheat a little bit, that's the only way I think the Penn State receivers will be able to beat those guys vertically.
Okay. And Zach, how do you feel about Clifford? Is he? I heard from reports that he's a little banged up and all that good stuff. Is that anywhere true?
Is that me or Alec?
Zach.
Alec.
Hello?
Alec.
Okay.
Alec. Oh,
I don't know how you done.
Alec, first of all, Alec.
I can't see his name because
Alec.
All right.
Alec, it's not that he can't see. He can't talk, okay?
Okay.
So I told
you're good. I wasn't sure.
Alec, I'm sorry. My apologies. But
no, you're good.
Alec, how do you feel about Clifford? Did anything saying the words that they say he's been injured and all that good stuff. Is that any
Yeah, I mean,
truth to?
I feel like he's always just been a little banged up. I think part of it has to do with the offensive line, like doing him no favors over the years. But he left the Purdue game with cramps. I don't know if people say he had to go to the bathroom, whatever. He did get hit in the knee in that game though earlier, and like he grimaced and grabbed it a little. I don't think it's a huge factor. I thought he looked okay last week where it didn't look like he was being limited at all. Of course, he wasn't really tested against Ohio, so it's hard to say.
No.
But I feel like he's just always played through an injury at this point where it's kind of like just something we expect. I can't. I think the last time he was 100% was like the middle of 2019. Honestly, like when we saw him totally healthy.
Yeah.
So he's probably a little banged up on that knee. It might be bothering him a little, but I don't think it's anything that's really going to limit him too much.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's interesting. So we got some good names in this game. Everybody know Clifford, and of course, Penn State Nation. I hope Auburn Nation know too. Nicholas Singleton, the outstanding freshman running back, and they of course talk a lot about Mitchell Tinsley. About him, the transfer wide receiver and stuff like that. So, and of course, on Auburn side, you're gonna hear the quarterback name until you're sick of hearing it. You're gonna hear all that. Of course, you're gonna hear Tank. You're gonna hear Jarquez. You're gonna even hear Damari's name. So, I want from both of you, give me somebody to look out for tomorrow that everybody's not talking about. I know, like with Auburn, I'm looking at for some of these receivers. You know what I'm saying? Or some names that they don't really, that people not really, talking about. And kind of the same thing for Penn State. Give me someone that the fans need to watch for tomorrow. So we'll start with you, Dukes. Let me know who you think.
I think Cam Riley is going to be really important to the game tomorrow. I think he's a 3-down linebacker on the inside position. He doesn't have to leave the field. And I think the matchup between him and whoever he's matched up against in the slot on third down, if he has to move out, if Penn State decides to go 11 personnel, I think that's going to be really important as far as determining the fate of the game is how Cam Riley performs in those situations.
Gotcha. What you think, Alec?
I have our left tackle, Oluwo Fashanu, who is a new starter, took over for Rasheed Walker this year. He's kind of the X factor of this offensive line because they struggled to keep Clifford upright last year, especially. I don't know if you guys watched that Michigan game, but that was bad. If Hall and Leota are going to come after Clifford, because I doubt Auburn wants a repeat of what happened last year where Clifford was just standing back there for 8-10 seconds. It felt like. Yeah. He needs to hold his own. I feel like he's done well so far. I don't think he's really been tested. Obviously, Purdue didn't have George Karlaftis from last year, and Ohio's Ohio. So, I really think he's the guy I'm going to look for in offense to make sure he's holding up. Blind spot. Got to keep Clifford upright. I think on offense, he's honestly the X factor here.
Yeah. Also, a little bit on the inside with Kobe Wooten. Also, man, like he's so versatile. You just never know what he's going to be. I know everybody talks about Hall and Leota, but Wooden is an X factor also for that Auburn D line also, and he's licking his chops a bit. He feel like there's some inexperience there, so it's definitely where we are on that. So that was my biggest thing that you got, Dave. You got anything else for him, man? We just appreciate him hopping on for a few minutes.
Hey, man, the only thing I got is first of all, anybody watching, go ahead and for you all that's watching, if you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, turn the notification bell on. Also, I just want to thank the both of you guys. Duke, we don't need to go this long without seeing you, brother, because last time you didn't have a beard. Now you got a beard. I don't know. You might have dreads next time I see you. So, I mean, you know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Don't see the headline win and no danger of that.
Hey, Alec, man, I appreciate you hopping on, man. Hey, if you don't understand some of the stuff we say, just ask us out the show. We some down south boys, man. That's how we go, man. But honestly,
we ain't that down south,
We ain't that.
We can go. We can go there though. We can go there if we need.
True. But hey, Tuck, I don't know if you had anything else. I want a score prediction from them. So what y'all thinking? Hey, we got two people on the inside of the program on each program, man. You tell me. Really, with Penn State coming down. I'm telling you, man. Hey, Alec, I don't know how your Penn State people are. I don't know how they feel about coming to Jordan Hare, but I'm going to tell you right now, bro. Don't let 87,000 fool you. There's a reason why that's one of the top ones in the country when it comes to noise, and they ready to bring the noise. So I'm just waiting on prediction, man. Give me a prediction.
All right. Well, I did my show the other night, and I had 24-21 Penn State, so I'm going to stick with it. I do feel like the environment is a huge factor, but at the same time, Clifford is in his 4th year as a starter. I think we're kind of beyond the point where I'd hope an environment rattles him to the point where he could lose a game. It could still happen, but I'd like to think we're beyond that point by now. So I think that's a deciding factor for me. Also, I feel like if it's late in the game and an offense needs to move and it can't be running the ball because there's not a lot of time on the clock, I'm going to trust Clifford and his receivers to maybe go do that more than Finley. I know they have a couple good receivers. Javarius Johnson, I believe, is his name. But I think the overall group for Penn State on the skill position is just a little deeper. So I think if it's the end of the game and someone needs to drive to score a touchdown to win the game, I think I'm going to take the Penn State throwing attack a little more there.
I will tell you this for Duke's answer. It's some weird stuff happens in Jordan Hare.
Yeah.
What you got? What you got, Duke? Tell me what you looking at.
If I didn't know anything about Auburn, just looking at it on paper, looking at the depth charts, and looking at the product that's been put on the field already, having no connection to Auburn, I would probably go Penn State 28-20. But being that I know I've seen firsthand how special Jordan Hare can be, how interested and how locked in the fans have been with his orange out, I think that just the whole gravity of the situation where Brian Harsin is maybe coaching for his job like tomorrow. So I think you'll see Auburn pull out all the stops, and maybe you'll see some magic in Jordan Hare, and they'll come out on top. So give me the inverse of Alec, and I'll go Auburn 24-21.
Everybody you talk to, man, says the same thing. See it close, early in the 20s. I mean, I think that's what we all looking at, man. But Dave, Tuck, y'all got anything, man, before we let these gentlemen go?
No, I did my pick. I picked last night. I rolled with Penn State. I think you guys went with Auburn. So we'll hash it out.
Just because it's in Jordan Hare. That's the only reason.
Right. We'll hash it out tomorrow.
That's it. But, man, we appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all hit the like and subscribe button, man. Of course, you can check us out at dslpodcast.com for the merch and everything else. But make sure you like and subscribe on YouTube, man. We got more content coming for you, man. And we appreciate these fellas coming on with us. And I hope y'all enjoy the games tomorrow. For Down South Football Podcast at Duke the Scoop. Make sure you follow him on Twitter. Make sure you follow Alec, man, at PSU_strong on Twitter, man. Boy, got a big following, man. Both of them do. Y'all want the info? Holler at them. For Down South Football Podcast, man. We out, man. So talk to y'all soon.